Welcome to the Melanin Movement's Between Family, the ultimate destination for real talk, inspiration, and celebration of melanin families. Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl Kaya, aka the Melanin Maven, back with another video for the Melanin Movement. Here we speak on behalf of the unheard Black community, discussing everything from current events to controversies and everything in between. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our movement. To our returning family, welcome back. We appreciate your continued support. Your comments, likes, and shares just don't help our channel grow. They amplify our voices and make our movement stronger. Today we have another topic to discuss, but remember, our conversations here are always up for debate. We encourage respectful dialogue and diverse perspectives. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, my baby read. My baby be reading. Well, actually, before we get into the topics, we did say in one of the last shows that we were going to shout out some books that we were reading, and Chris is reading a great book that I think has enlightened his lexicon.
Carlee?
Yeah, the one that you were reading that we've been talking about. Or did you finish it?
I read a couple books in the last month or so. One being Autobiography of Malcolm X. That's what I'm reading currently, almost finished with. A little bit over halfway through. Race Matters by Cornel West. That was what I read prior to Autobiography. Then after Autobiography is done, I'm going on to Notes of a Native Son by James Baldwin.
So is there like a male trend to this reading?
No, there isn't.
Okay.
It's in my current library and coupled with the books that I'm putting in my cart on Amazon and books that I see at bookstores. So.
Okay.
It's philosophy based, like the individual's philosophy, and it just kind of goes into one another.
Okay. That's good to hear. What about you, Evie?
Well, I'm still reading Invite Only by our lovely sister, Lanice Rogers. Go get the book. And then after that, I'm going to read your book that you just put out. I don't know if you put it out. You put
Whose
it out?
book? My book?
It's your book. Yep. That's next on the list. That's next.
Okay.
Affirmation to manifestation, right?
From affirmations to manifestation. Your 30-day guide to retrain your brain.
Yep. So that's next on my list.
Sounds good. So let's get into it. Let's meet the cast. You have EVE over here.
Hey y'all.
You got Chris Shot It over there. Noe will be in, I don't know when, but he'll be in. Huh?
Wild card.
Yeah, he's a wild card. This is what happened when you have a family show, and this is Between Family. So let's talk about it. Believing Black women and actually caring about the disappearance of Black women is something that we have literally been shouting from the rooftops, that we've been doing hashtags on social media. And our girl, Carlee Russell, unfortunately, she didn't get that memo because she lied and she created this hoax of her disappearance. Now, she actually was Googling how to fake your disappearance before she did it. Now, had she been watching any of these SVU, Night Agent, any of these shows, Jack Ryan, she would know how to cover her tracks. But it was in her history. Her search history on her phone. Okay? So last year, Black women and girls accounted for 1 in 5 missing persons cases in the US, despite making up just 7% of the population. So 1 in 5. And Carlee Russell said, let me add to that number and fake my disappearance. She said that she called saying that she saw a toddler walking along the interstate. And of course, stupid Marlon Wayans, he posted on Instagram how they said that, when he played the big baby, whatever that movie was, it was like, this is the
No
baby
man.
she saw on the highway. I was done.
The crazy thing about it, I just watched that the other day, and I didn't even know he made that reference. That's the crazy thing.
Oh, Father. So this was actually the first case that went viral of a missing black woman or young girl. And Russell's safe return after vanishing for 49 hours was initially celebrated as a rare victory.
Well, they came out today stating that her lawyer put out saying that she made a mistake, she's sorry, and everything like that. So that came out today. She made a mistake and she didn't mean to do that and all of that stuff. And my thing about it, I feel like Cardi B, when she was like, what was the reason? What was the reason? Like, I feel like Cardi. It's just like, girl, you need attention that badly? Like, what is it in your life that you feel like nobody is paying attention to you? You must have something going on in your brain where you need attention to put this out. And then for the fact that we already have to fight as Black women to be heard, to be seen, to be respected, to be all of these things. And you want to make a mockery? Like, this is what they be talking about.
Go off, sis. Oh.
Seriously, because it got me pissed off. Because I'm like, you know how many I say every day I make it home. I'm like, that's a underrated blessing to make it home. There's some women outside that do not make it home. And for the fact that you think you have every bit of right to sit there and cause so many, the whole world was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. We were rooting for you. Like, come on now. I said, send her to jail. Look, make an example, go to jail now. So that's how I feel.
Yeah. Chris.
I'm sorry, I just went off. Like, that pissed me off. Like,
I don't really have a horse in this race.
You don't have a horse in this race?
Not at all.
So what if this was your cousins, your aunts, your mom, and they were
Obviously disappeared?
No. That was a part of the 1 in 5. And then Carlee did this.
That's a different conversation then.
Well, have it. Never had it.
What do you mean, what if it was one of my relatives? Then we would act how relatives act when somebody would, or hypothetically would go missing. I don't think there's really a larger argument to be had, so to speak, unless we're talking about the reasoning as to why Black women specifically are going missing, and that's a different conversation in and of itself. But in terms of this isolated incident, this is just, to me, another case of social media throwing oil on a flame. Otherwise, it would be just another Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? She's how young?
I could tell you right now.
Yeah, it had to
She's
be around
25 years old. She's 25 years old.
Oh, she a grown woman.
Yeah. So, like, what are we saying? Like, of her own volition. What are we really saying here? We're acting like we're personally offended because she did something out of her own will.
No, I think it basically is about what Eve was saying, how we gotta, especially Black women, on the hierarchy of importance, we literally come in at the straight bottom. You know,
it's unfortunate.
Unfortunately. And if you had everybody literally saying your name and saying, are we going to get the same justice for Carlee as we got for this one? Can we please find Carlee? And then she comes in, which NBC News said, she admitted she did not see a toddler wandering on the side of the highway and lied about the kidnapping.
It just shows that, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, it's just like, okay, so for the next person, God forbid, it is really true that they're missing. Will they take us even seriously? Because they said, oh, it could probably just be another episode of somebody lying. So it's not
hesitation.
Right.
hesitation in trying to find them.
We're getting like kicked steps back when we were already back. You know what I'm saying? Like we keep on getting kicked further and further because of these actions. And it's just like, sis, mm-mm.
I think the narrative that the progress, if any, that is being made by Black women in regards to these things is being pushed back because of her lying, I think is an argument in futility. Like who's they? You know what I'm saying? Who's the person that we're crying wolf to? Is it the police that is supposed to be out there finding them? Because otherwise, it seems like what you're saying, and by what you guys are saying, is that there's a certain responsibility to the people in the media. Because otherwise, are cops not going to go search for somebody just because Carlee lied?
I think what it causes is the reaction time. They may not react as quickly or as,
When have they
fervently trying to.
When have they ever reacted quickly in terms of these things?
No.
Well, I think that because in this particular article, it said that Carlee's case gave hope that missing Black women finally mattered because of the outcry from everyone.
But this media related outcry, right? If you compare this to any of the number of instances where there's been a quote unquote outcry, what efficacy is placed in that? Besides somebody just reposting something, what efforts are being made for the cause of finding Black women or finding the reasons for why Black women are missing, as opposed to just saying Carlee lied, Black women are 10 steps behind? Like,
well, no,
what are we really
what you're really saying is that because of the fact that most things within our history don't get dealt with or don't get handled with the urgency in which it should, is because of the fact that nobody knew about it. Trayvon's case did not go, George Zimmerman did not get arrested until everybody saw on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook that this dude shot and killed a young Black teenager. He didn't even get arrested. Sometimes the lawmakers and the cops and whoever don't act until there is a lean from the community. And that community could be social media, it could be the actual community in which they live, or it could just be even the globe, people in freaking Yugoslavia, or I know Yugoslavia is not there no more, but in the Czech Republic, say, well, how did this happen? All of the nations are now like, yeah, yo, this is a big issue. And a lot of times things don't get handled in the way that they should unless eyes and ears are on it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, but I think or not you, but you as in, when I say you, I'm more so referencing the greater aggregate, it's a two-step process, right? You hear about it and then there's action, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, how many instances have there been a quote unquote outcry followed by results?
Wait, say that one more time.
You're saying, right? The more ears and eyes that get on something, the better it is for whatever the cause is, right? But I'm asking you, in how many instances have there been a quote unquote outcry in terms of there being, people being informed on social media, reposting this happened and whatever. Now, how many times has that happened and there have been results following that?
George Floyd.
1.
Breonna Taylor. It may have taken years, but it happened.
My point being is that it was more so rhetorical, but the amount of instances compared to instances that ended up in results is highly disproportionate. And I feel like that's based on the fact that we give way too much credence to what social media is and what it's doing, to be quite honest with you. There's really no value in social media. People just see things, repost it, and that's it. They go about their day and then go to the next thing, scroll, like, and repost.
I won't
There's
say that
no
there's no value in
value.
it.
There's
No, I
zero.
won't say that
Zero.
there's no value in
In
it
modern
because
day
it has.
society, there is zero value in social media. And we can have a debate about that on another show or on another conversation or what's have you. But I am firm in that there is zero value in social media in today's society today. Can it be used? Does it have potential to be used and have value? Absolutely.
I don't
where
agree.
we are in society right now,
I don't think that it's
none.
I don't think that it's
Not even-
the end all be all, but there is some value in social media. You
Mhm.
can't say that there's
Yeah.
zero value in it. Or else
Value to-
or else billions of people would not be using it.
All right, so then how do you define value? Oh, wait, what was your point just then?
I said
Otherwise, what?
would not be using it.
I don't think that necessarily defines what value is. In terms
Value
of the
is
conversation that we're having.
value is
being
what you can get from something.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Right. Sure.
So if a lot of people did not have the information or had no idea, like we live in the tri-state area. We aren't privy to what happens in Alabama or where she's from. I'm only using that state because of that, but we're not privy to what happens in Alabama. We don't get the Alabama local news. So unless it's something that is being shared across a social media platform, nobody would know about it.
And that's me too, because I don't really look at the news. Social media usually be my news in regards to certain things.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
No, you know why I
get
don't?
it. The world becomes smaller, but to what end?
What you say the last
Then
part?
you figure out what's going on in Alabama, but to do what about it?
I think it's just more of the bring awareness. I think social media is social media. Yeah, it brings awareness to certain things, because if that wasn't the case, advertising and all the stuff that we do, we put out or so for our services and everything, then it would say, oh, well, you didn't need you don't need social media. That's of course, but it also brings an extra value to your brand, especially as a business person, a singer, an artist, and all of this stuff. We do get value out of it. Like if I post something, I got plenty of gigs from social media. So there's value to social media, at least for me.
All right, so then let me rephrase.
Mm-hmm.
Within the context of the conversation that we're having, in terms of movements for colored people, or having results of actions of movements for colored people, or any movement really, right? Now, is social media a great marketing tool? Absolutely. Is it a great tool for e-commerce? Absolutely. But when it comes to now producing results and the efficacy for producing results for colored people, finding reasonings for examples, Black women going missing.
Not right? Colored people. When did we get back to colored?
Well, I'm saying colored because it's not Black people, right?
Mm-hmm.
People of color.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when we talk about those things, when we talk about people, wanting to protest and do all this stuff, like, yeah, Black Lives Matter, you post that, now what? That's what I'm saying. Value in these areas that are substantial to what we need and what we should do, it has no value, because it's just show, one, and repost, two. But sure,
and there are people's lives. There's people's lives that have been saved just from a post. So you can't, like, it may be an esoteric type of understanding, but it's there nonetheless. People have literally gone to marches and protests to protest injustices across the country, across the globe, because of a post. So you can't just say that, if you share it, you post it, and that's it, because there's a lot of action behind some of these posts. Now, I'm not saying that everybody has that same,
results, right?
Yes.
What results?
So you're talking about going up to SCOTUS, going up to your senators or your congressmen. You're talking about that?
Not necessarily. But I'm talking about the stake that we put in social media, right? The credence that we give social media is not akin or not necessarily the same as what it is, right? The amount of importance that we give social media is not comparable to what the actual importance of social media is. And I think that's a better way to reword it. Again, as a great marketing tool, absolutely. For your business and e-commerce, 100%. But in terms of producing results efficiently towards the movements that we're referencing in the context that we're describing, I do not agree that social media is a positive tool.
I think, well, on that, we'll have to agree to disagree. Because I'm not saying that, like I said, I'm not saying it's the be all end all, but I do believe that it has its value in the movement.
Mm-hmm. It brings more awareness of things. It doesn't hide. No, when it comes to social media, I do believe it doesn't hide. You know, back then you didn't really know. You heard about things, but like social media, you're actually seeing it. Like, yo, this is actually really happening. You could think something is happening, but I don't see it. I'm not around it, so I don't really know. But with social media, it's just like, you know, it's like firm, like in your hand, like you could really see it. That's the only thing I could say about it.
Okay, so let me rephrase then.
Mm-hmm.
People believe that awareness is a solution to the problem. You become aware of it, absolutely. It makes more people aware, but that is not a solution to the problem.
It's not a solution, but it's a start. You could build off of
But
awareness.
a start that never goes anywhere. Again,
You have the most pessimistic view.
I do not have a pessimistic view.
Because you're saying that there's no change, there's no goodness that comes out of it, there's no value, there's no this, there's no that. But it's proven. And because of the fact that it is not making the strides that it should in the time that it should, that can be your statement. But saying that it's just whack altogether. Hi,
Again, we can have a separate conversation.
How are you?
About that. But,
hey, no.
So
I can give concrete, factual evidence to my point.
We can save that for an up for debate.
Absolutely.
Let's welcome Noe to the show, everybody.
Hey, no way.
So according to NPR, my man Pac was murdered 30 years ago. And they just reopening the case, going into houses, looking for evidence. He was murdered in 1996. I was just leaving high school, okay? Chris was not even on the earth yet. The Las Vegas police executed a warrant to search a home in Henderson, Nevada, that has lots of people wondering if there's new life in the investigation. According to NPR, the detective in the police department said it really doesn't cost much to look into this case, right? The upside is that you piece together the case or investigation that finally puts a name to the murder of Tupac. What a big deal. Suge Knight was in the car with Pac when he got shot, when a white Cadillac Escalade pulled up next to him and opened fire. Now, they done had this in movies, horrible acted and directed movies, but movies nonetheless. And 30 years after Pac and Biggie died, almost 30 years, and there's still no definitive answer as to who shot you. Does that sound right?
The only crimes they solve after 30 years is rape.
They're looking for laptops and electronic devices at the home of a gang member who said he was in the car when the superstar was fatally shot. Dwayne Keith Davis, who is 60, also known as Keefy D, was the target of the warrant in the Clark County part of Las Vegas. So they're looking for desktops, electronic storage devices such as thumb drives, CDs, external hard drives, and audio recordings. Do you know the type of electronics I was using in '96? Remember the floppy disk? And you
Mhm.
look, I just recently got an MRI done, and they gave me CDs, and my doctor was like, "Well, what am I supposed to do with these? Don't nobody got a computer that can read CDs
I do.
except for Noe, except for Noe." So Davis is also affiliated with the Southside Compton Crips street gang and has been vocal about his involvement over the years. Davis was one of the 4 people who police say was in the suspect's vehicle when Shakur was killed in a drive-by. The suspect in the shooting, Orlando Anderson, is Davis's nephew, later died in a gang-related killing in LA. So they show the affidavit for the search warrant, but if Keefe was vocal all of this time, why is it taking to 2023 for y'all to look into the Pac murder? This is kind of the same thing what we were saying with the last Carlee.
If Tupac, being black, had he just raped somebody, they would have figured this out by now. Because that's the only crime that they solved after 30 years. They went out and, think about it like this. This nigga got shot in Vegas after a fight on the strip. How many niggas be outside in Vegas?
You know how many cameras are outside in Vegas?
I don't even care what the year is. Just in a place like that, there ain't no way that you get shot on that street and nobody saw anything. But we know exactly what the conversation was between Bill Cosby and some white women from 1972.
Oh, Father.
So niggas can't tell me who shot Tupac in the middle of a packed house. But I know where the Puddin' Pops was in Hotel 69. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. How many documentaries they done made about Tupac and Biggie? Niggas ain't found nothing. Then filmed 17 movies and 18 joints on Lifetime and still ain't found nothing.
They found Osama hiding in a cave. Okay?
And you know the niggas ain't got no cameras over there. They don't
in
even
compounds. By just by doing their little work. You ever seen Zero Dark 30? That's one of my favorite movies. They just did their little work. The SEAL team came in with the helicopters on that quiet helicopter, that stealth helicopter. They went in with the green lasers and they shot. Didn't kill the kids. You just put them in one room, shot. They was just like, is this Osama? It took a picture of him. It took all of the floppy drives, the floppy hard disks. They took all of that, took all of the computers and stuff. And they wanted proof of DNA. They got that. 1, 2, 3. But we can't find out who killed Tupac.
It makes no sense. It's I mean, for me, I feel the same way about Biggie. It's almost like you watching a movie and it's like, all right, so y'all are telling me that Puffy and everybody in the crew had something to do with this movie. So Biggie got shot. All you niggas is on the same street and nobody saw anything. Nobody knows nothing, but you're all on the same street following each other. You don't even know what the car was. And so Suge Knight is sitting next to him. He's talking to the chicks out the window. The car rolls up and nobody saw anything. But we know he was talking to girls come on, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Look, these niggas don't want to solve this crime because it was probably some type of government setup. I'm a firm believer in that. Because it's just stuff like that doesn't happen in broad day. Well, not broad daylight, but it might as well have been broad daylight as after a type of fight. I mean, everybody and their mama's out there leaving this thing at the same time and nobody saw anything. And you're opening the case 30 years later after he's dead, his mom's dead, and probably half the people involved are dead. So what do you find? You looking for freaking floppy disks? Niggas didn't even have America Online yet.
Wait, did I have my AOL account then?
No,
I
not
didn't.
in '96.
I didn't.
Maybe they have no cable modem. You out here looking for stuff that doesn't even exist anymore. Talking about we were searching in apartments. Nigga, you know how many people done lived in that joint already?
That's what I'm saying. You know how much traffic can go in and out of some place in 30 years?
You've probably seen them floppy disks and this. Like, what the hell is this?
Mm-hmm.
Like in Johnson's Family Vacation. Shot.
Yeah.
Shot.
It don't make no sense. That joint is a waste of time.
Yeah, I don't think it's, well, if they feel like they need to open up the case, because, you know, if they feel like they need closure, but honestly, it's like.
You realize these niggas made a documentary of reopening Biggie's case? Like, they made a documentary of actually, like, of investigating the case.
Because of the fact that it makes money. People, like, there's people that weren't even born when they were alive that love Pac and Biggie.
It makes no sense. Like,
it's big business. As Nino Brown said, it's the American way.
Yeah, it makes no sense. We're going to reopen the case. And then we're going to film a TV show about reopening the case. But we ain't going to solve a damn thing. We just going to wind up where we were when we reopened the case. No.
Well, we hope that somebody comes to justice for the killing of our dear brother, Tupac Shakur. May you continue to rest in peace. As a quick aside, I just want to say I'm so grateful that Jamie Foxx is out and talking and able to tell a little joke. You know, we so glad that you are good, Jamie. Let me tell you something. We was praying for you, brother. And we know that you wasn't no clone walking in the street. These dumb people just making up stuff on social media. Maybe Chris was right.
He was on a boat or something recently, right?
They was like, he looks different. They was like, he looks different. He looks different. Nigga was hopping in the sick bed with tubes and stuff like that. You think you gonna come out looking all peachy key?
He looked fine to me. He actually looked like he lost some weight. I mean,
well, I mean, that definitely is evident that he lost some weight.
But not like insane weight. Like, he looked healthy. Like, because I ain't know, like, there were, like, you know, when you be looking at people and it's just like, yo, it looks like it's just, like, they look like they have high blood pressure because it's like they just be gaining mad weight and they just look like.
So is that me?
Like, they just got that look like.
They just full? Like, they look.
Yeah, man. Like, it's just like they look like they're about to explode. And I feel like, I don't know. I thought he was putting on weight for that Tyson movie that they were talking about filming. But
and did you see how they said that they dropped him from it?
From the Tyson movie?
Yeah, I saw a news article saying that they decided to drop him from the movie.
And film it with who? Not that nigga from the Hulu series. Good Lord, I didn't even watch that. But
no, I don't know about Hulu. But we glad to see you back, Jamie. Django one time. Prepare to get whiny.